My beloved child, come closer for a moment. I speak to you with a soft voice tonight because the message before you is not ordinary. Something sacred is stirring in the unseen places. Something ancient, something full of love, something carrying a holy urgency. There are moments in life when the air feels different, when the silence and the room grows heavy, when your heart beats a little faster, though nothing around you has changed. It is in those moments, my child, that the unseen world leans close. It is in those moments that heaven tries to whisper before the noise of life drowns the sound. Tonight, I feel a trembling in the spiritual winds. I sense the weight of a message trying to break through. Someone you once loved, someone who walked this earth with you, laughed with you, held your hand in moments of weakness, has been stirring in the realm beyond time. Not to frighten you, no, but to warn you gently, to guide you, to nudge your heart away from something that could harm you. That love did not die when their breath left the earth. Love never dies, my child. It simply changes its doorway. And I feel their longing tonight. I feel their attempt to reach you before the message fades like smoke in the morning air. There is a reason you opened this right now, not yesterday, not later, but in this very moment. Divine timing is never late, my child. Heaven does not stumble. You were guided here because something was trying to get your attention, and heaven cannot let this moment slip. And then as the spiritual winds move, there is another presence. Michael. Not a man with wings, not the painted figure from old books, but a messenger. A symbol. A voice of urgency that presses on your heart. The name Michael has always carried the meaning of strength, of protection, of messages delivered with unshakable purpose. And tonight, that name carries weight again. I feel him saying, open this immediately before it is erased forever. Not because the message is fragile, but because the moment is. If you wait too long, your heart might forget the pull you felt. If you delay, the door that is open now may gently close again. My beloved child, hear me, there is a voice from the other side calling your name. Not a ghost, not a shadow, not a haunting, no. This is a whisper of love, calling across eternity, trying its very best to reach the one it still cherishes deeply. Something is being placed in your path tonight, and I must guide you carefully. So breathe slowly, soften your heart, and let me take you into this journey step by step. My beloved child, as you sit with these words, I want you to feel the air shift around you. Not in fear, but in awareness. There are moments when the curtain between this world and the next trembles, so softly that only the sensitive heart can feel it. You may have felt such moments before. A sudden chill across your skin without a breeze in the room. A moment where your eyes drift to a corner for no reason at all. A stirring in your spirit that feels like someone whispering your name, though no human voice was present. My child, these are not accidents. These are the moments when the veil becomes thin enough for love to pass through. You see, the spiritual world is not far away. It is closer than your breath. People think heaven is a distant place, somewhere beyond the clouds, somewhere unreachable until death. But no, my child. Heaven is a dimension folded quietly beside your own. It watches you. It studies you. It guards every step you take. And when your spirit grows heavy, when danger approaches, or when destiny shifts, the world beyond begins to tremble with urgency to reach you. There are times when you feel uneasy for no reason. You wake up in the middle of the night without knowing why. You feel someone is missing you, thinking of you, calling for you, but everyone around you is asleep. That is the trembling of the curtain. That is the world beyond trying to make contact. Your loved one, the one whose memory still sits gently in your chest, has felt something approaching your path. Something you may not recognize yet. Something your heart needs to understand before it becomes too heavy to bear. Do you remember, my child, the times you suddenly thought of them, not in sadness, but in a strange sense of presence, as if they were near you? That was not imagination. That was not just memory. That was the spiritual cord that connects all love, living or departed, vibrating with a message. There is always a reason when a departed loved one crosses your mind unexpectedly. Spirit moves with purpose, never randomly. The spiritual realm knows things long before we do. It sees the turns in the path that your eyes cannot see yet. And sometimes, when a shadow tries to rise against you, or when a decision you are about to make could shift your destiny in a painful direction, the loved one who watches over you will press their spirit toward yours. They push gently, because they cannot speak the way the living speak. They cannot shout. They cannot force your attention. All they can do is create a trembling in your spirit and hope you notice enough to pause. My beloved child, you must understand something important. The warning you feel is not meant to frighten you. The tremble between worlds is a sign of love, not doom. When a departed one tries to reach out, it is always for protection, reassurance, or guidance. The love does not disappear in the grave. It amplifies. It becomes pure, without ego, without confusion, without weakness. The love that speaks from the world beyond is stronger than any human love you have ever known. And tonight, that love is reaching. Tonight, that veil trembles because a message is being pressed urgently into your life. There is something ahead of you, something that your eyes cannot yet see, something your heart must be prepared for. And your loved one, the one who walked the earth and carried your memories in their heart, is trying with everything in their spirit to warn you before the moment arrives. So listen closely, my child. Open your heart. Feel the thinness of the veil around you. Let the unseen world speak. For what comes next is the beginning of the message they have been trying to send you for so long. My beloved child, lean your spirit toward my voice now, for we are entering sacred ground. There is a gentle cry rising from the other side, a cry not of sorrow, but of longing, of urgency, of love that refuses to let you walk blindly into what it sees ahead. A loved one who once walked among the living with you, who once sat beside you, laughed with you, shared moments that shaped your heart, has been trying to reach you. They have been trying to whisper into the corners of your life, hoping you would slow down long enough to notice. Perhaps you have felt it in your dreams. You know the dreams I speak of, the ones that feel too real to be dreams, the ones that stay with you long after the sun rises. Sometimes their face appears, not speaking, just looking at you with a seriousness you cannot explain. Sometimes they seem to reach out their hand, as if trying to warn you of something behind you that you have not seen yet. and you wake with a strange heaviness, unsure of what the dream meant, but feeling deep in your spirit that it mattered. At other times, my child, the warning comes in waking hours. You might find your thoughts drifting to them unexpectedly. Not because you were reminiscing, not because something reminded you, but because their spirit was pressing gently against your mind. You might feel a sudden sadness sweep through you without reason, or a sudden sense of caution, as if something inside you whispers, "Slow down, be careful, pay attention." These emotions are not random. Spirit never moves without purpose. When your loved one cried out from the other side, they did not do so with words. Spirit speaks through impressions, through feelings, through the sudden tightening in your chest when something is wrong, through the unexpected peace when danger has passed. They have been trying to warn you in the only ways they can, hoping that you would connect the dots before the moment arrives. Do you recall a time, my beloved child, when you sat alone and felt as if someone was standing behind you, not in fear, but in familiarity? Or when you had the sensation that someone was watching over you from the corner of the room, though you could not see anyone? These are not tricks of the mind. These are the echoes of their presence. Even though their body is gone, their love has not vanished. It hovers around you like a quiet guardian, stepping close whenever your path begins to drift toward danger. There is also a reason, my child, why certain memories suddenly rise up within you. Memories of words they once spoke, advice they once gave, warnings they once shared. These memories surface not on accident, but because their spirit gently pulls them to the front of your mind. A message is trying to form. A warning is trying to reach you. And some of you, my child, have even heard it. Heard their voice calling your name softly in moments when no one else was around. You questioned your mind. You wondered if grief was playing tricks on you. But no, it was not your imagination. Spirit does not whisper loudly. It calls in subtle tones, hoping your heart will recognize the familiar sound that once brought you comfort. Your loved one has watched you from a place beyond the reach of earthly eyes. They have seen the weight you have been carrying, the confusion, the struggles, the people around you whose intentions may not be as pure as they appear. They see the path forming ahead of you, a path where one wrong step could bring you into unnecessary pain or delay your destiny. And because they love you, because the love did not die, they cannot stay silent. They cry out. They reach. They whisper. My beloved child, you are not alone in this world. You are not walking through the shadows without guidance. Someone beyond the veil has seen what you cannot see, and they are calling your spirit to attention. Their warning is not to frighten you, but to protect you, to guide you, to keep you from the wound they see forming in your future. My beloved child, as you sit with this revelation, I want you to feel the atmosphere shifting yet again. Every word that reaches you now carries more weight, more urgency, more trembling from the unseen world. For the one who steps forward in this part is not the loved one alone, but the messenger who has been pressing this warning toward your spirit with holy determination. His name, the name that stirred your attention, is Michael. Now, do not imagine a figure with wings and armor, standing in some distant sky. No, my child. The Michael I speak of is not a picture painted by human hands. He is not the statue in old temples or the image in ancient manuscripts. Michael is a presence, a symbol, a force of protection, a voice that rises when danger approaches, when destiny trembles, and when time becomes delicate. He is the one assigned to bring the message that you might not hear on your own. You may wonder why this message comes with such urgency, why the words were whispered to you with a command to open immediately, why there was a sense that it might be erased or lost forever. My child, it is not the message that is fragile. It is the moment, the timing. Spirit knows when the heart is ready, and it knows when delay could cost you something precious. So when Michael stepped forward, when his presence moved toward your life, it came because your spirit reached a point where it needed to receive what was being prepared. Michael is the messenger who steps in when heaven needs your attention without delay. He is not loud, but he is firm. He does not force, but he does not waver. When he moves, the atmosphere shifts. When he speaks, the veil trembles. When he brings a warning, it is because he sees a turning point before your feet reach it. Perhaps you have felt his presence before, though you did not know it was him. A sudden sense of protection, as if something invisible stepped between you and danger. A moment where you should have been harmed, but somehow you were spared. A strong, undeniable feeling that you should stop, wait, pause, or look again. My beloved child, these are traces of Michael's movements, silent but powerful, unseen but decisive. And now he stands between you and the moment that lies ahead. He stands at the doorway of your destiny and whispers, "Open this before it is erased." He knows that spiritual messages fade not because they lose strength, but because human hearts grow busy, distracted, overwhelmed. If you wait too long, the tug on your spirit weakens. The clarity dissolves, and the warning that was meant to guide you becomes a faint memory instead of a shield. Michael's urgency is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in love and protection. It is rooted in the desire to keep you aligned with the path that heaven has carved for you. For there is something approaching your life, my child, something your loved ones saw. Something Michael now stands guard over, something that must be revealed before it touches your journey. The presence of Michael also means that you are not ordinary. Heaven does not send such a messenger for someone walking a meaningless path. You are chosen. You are watched over. You are being guided because your future carries weight. Your steps matter. Your destiny holds power. And heaven will not allow you to walk blindly into danger when you are meant to rise into purpose. So let your heart remain open. Feel the strength of the messenger near you. For in the next part, the urgency deepens. The reason for the warning, the sense of something slipping away if ignored, will become clearer. My beloved child, listen closely, for what I am about to speak carries weight beyond this moment. There are times in a person's life when heaven leans in so intently that the very air feels different. You may feel a heaviness, a strange stirring in your chest, or a quiet awareness that something spiritual is unfolding around you. This is one of those moments. A message that has been trying to reach you, the one your loved one has been pushing through the veil to deliver, is moving with urgency because it must be received before it fades away. The spiritual world does not operate on human clocks. A warning, a whisper, a nudge does not stay open forever. It appears when you need it. That, my child, if your heart becomes distracted or if your mind turns away, the message can begin to dissolve like a footprint washed away by a rising tide. This is why you felt the urgency, the stirring, the sense that you had to open this immediately, as if something within you knew that the moment was fragile. There is something ahead of you, something you are approaching without realizing it. It might be a decision, a person, a path, or even a subtle shift in your life that carries consequences you cannot yet see. Your loved one saw it. Michael saw it. Heaven saw it. And that is why the veil trembled. Not to frighten you, but to guide you before the moment arrives. Sometimes the danger is not dramatic. It may be emotional, something that could break your spirit or delay your healing. Sometimes it is relational, someone who appears with good intention but carries an unseen weight that could drag your heart into confusion. Sometimes it is spiritual, an attack disguised as opportunity or comfort. And sometimes it is simply a moment of weakness where one wrong step could lead you down a road that takes years to recover from. Whatever this moment is, my child, heaven does not warn without reason. When messages from the other side are ignored, the consequences are not punishments. They are simply missed protections. Heaven will never force your steps. Spirit will never drag you into safety. It whispers, it warns, it nudges. But you must choose to listen. You must choose to receive. And that is why this message came with urgency, why it reached you at this exact time, why it pressed against your spirit so insistently. There are moments in life that come once. Moments that can protect you, redirect you, awaken you. This is one of those moments. Something is being placed in your hands before it slips away. You are being told with love, with tenderness, with divine intent, pay attention now, for this is your window. If you wait too long, the clarity may fade. The strength of the warning may soften, and what is meant to be avoided might come too close. My beloved child, heaven is working in your favor right now. Your loved one is not calling to haunt you, but to help you. Michael is not pushing this message out of fear, but out of protection. The urgency is not meant to burden you. It is meant to save you from a burden you are not meant to carry. So open your heart. Allow yourself to receive. Let nothing distract you from what is unfolding before your spirit. Because what you understand now will shape the path you walk tomorrow. And my child, if your heart feels the weight of this moment, if your spirit recognizes the divine hand reaching for you, then let this message not stay with you alone. Lift it. Share it. Let others hear the warning that may be meant for them as well. When you honor a message like this, when you help carry it forward, you become part of the divine movement that protects others. Let it be your quiet act of spiritual service to pass this light on, to strengthen this voice, and to stay connected by joining this family, so you never miss a message meant for your destiny. My beloved child, as we move further into this sacred journey, I want you to listen not only with your ears, but with the quiet spaces inside your spirit. For now we reach the moment where the voice from the other side draws near enough to call you by name. This is not something that happens lightly. When your name is spoken across the veil, It is because something in the spiritual realm recognizes who you are with a clarity even the living often cannot see. Your name carries weight. It carries history. It carries meaning. It carries the story of where you have been and the quiet prophecy of where you are going. And when a loved one calls your name from beyond, it is not the sound of letters or syllables. It is the echo of memory, connection, and unbroken love. They call not to frighten you, but to draw your attention back to your own worth, your own identity, your own destiny, which you may have begun to lose sight of. There are moments in your life when you have felt as if no one truly saw you, when your presence felt unnoticed, when you wondered if your struggles or your tears mattered. But my child, in the realm beyond, you have never been invisible. You have never been forgotten. Your loved one has watched your journey with the eyes of eternity, seeing every step you take with a clarity deeper than any human understanding. And when they whisper your name, they are reminding you that you are still known, still seen, still cherished. Some of you have heard it in dreams, the soft, familiar call of someone who has passed on, saying your name in the same tone they once used on earth. Some of you have heard it in waking moments, so faint that you questioned whether it was memory or imagination. Others have felt it as an internal calling, a sudden pull inside your chest, as if someone gently reached out to touch the deepest part of your soul. That is the spiritual voice. That is the one who loves you still. When the voice calls your name, it is because you are approaching a point in your journey where you cannot afford to forget who you are or what you carry within you. Destiny requires awareness. Purpose requires identity. And warnings require attention. The voice is trying to awaken something inside you, to stir you, to alert you, to remind you that you are not meant to walk blindly or carelessly through the season ahead. Your name, when spoken from beyond, carries healing. It calls you back from confusion. It lifts you from heaviness. It anchors you when life has pulled you in too many directions. It gathers the scattered pieces of your heart and reminds you that you belong to something greater than your struggles. It reminds you that you were formed with intention and that heaven still invests in your survival, your growth, and your direction. My beloved child, the voice calling your name is a sign that you matter deeply. It is a sign that your journey is not random. It is a sign that your loved one is reaching across dimensions not to frighten you, but to awaken you, to make sure you turn your attention toward the warning before it is too late. They call your name because it is the bridge between their world and yours, the sound that carries your identity through the veil. Take this moment slowly. Let it settle within you. Let it remind you that you are still connected, still protected, still loved beyond death itself. And as this voice reaches you, understand that it is preparing you for something deeper, something clear, something necessary. My beloved child, as we move into this next unfolding, I ask you to listen with a heart that is calm, open, and ready. For now we approach the part of the message that has been strained to reach you, the part that pressed against the veil, the part your loved one carried with such urgency. There is a warning hidden in the whisper, a sacred caution woven into the gentle sound of your name, and heaven has been trying to bring it to your attention in every way it can. A whisper is never loud. A whisper is not forced. It carries truth softly so that only the one who needs it can receive it. In the same way, this warning has been approaching your spirit, not to overwhelm you, but to protect you with a tenderness that only love from beyond can offer. Your loved one did not shout. They did not shake your world violently. Instead, they stepped close, calling you quietly, hoping you would lean in enough to feel the seriousness of what they were trying to tell you. The warning is not of destruction, my child, but of direction. There is a path before you that branches in more than one direction. Some of those roads carry peace, clarity, and growth. Others carry confusion, heartbreak, delay, or unnecessary weight. Your loved one saw your feet drifting toward a crossroads, and they understood something you could not yet see. They saw that a gentle nudge at this moment would save you from years of wandering in the wrong direction. There may be someone around you who smiles with kindness, but carries intentions that are not aligned with your destiny. There may be an opportunity that appears bright on the surface, but comes with a shadow you are not aware of. There may be a decision you are tempted to make out of fear, loneliness, pressure, or impatience. These are the places where the whisper becomes a warning. The whisper says, slow down. The whisper says, look again. The whisper says, wait before you step. The whisper says, trust what your spirit has been trying to tell you. You have felt unease about something lately. A small discomfort. A sense that something is not entirely right. You brushed it aside because you wanted clarity, but clarity often comes as a quiet feeling before it becomes a loud consequence. The warning from your loved one is simply confirming what your spirit already sensed, but did not yet understand. Sometimes the danger is emotional, a person who could reopen wounds that heaven has been trying to heal. Sometimes it is spiritual, a distraction that masquerades as comfort but pulls you away from the path meant for you. Sometimes it is practical, a choice that seems harmless now, but could ripple far beyond what you expect. And sometimes, my child, it is simply about timing. Doing the right thing at the wrong moment can become the wrong thing altogether. Your loved one whispers because they want you to be safe. They want your heart to be guarded. They want your future to remain aligned. They want to spare you from pain that heaven never intended you to carry. And they know that if you listen now, if you pause now, if you reflect now, you can step into the next season of your life with clarity instead of confusion. This warning is an act of love, not fear, not doom. Love, pure, enduring, unwavering love reaching beyond the veil to place a caution in your hands before the moment passes. They are not telling you to run. They are telling you to see. They are not telling you to panic. They are telling you to pay attention. They are not telling you something terrible is coming. They are telling you that your choices in this season matter deeply. My beloved child, take this whisper seriously. Do not ignore the pull in your spirit. Do not silence the intuition that has been rising inside you. The warning is gentle because heaven never frightens the ones it loves. But it is clear enough for you to feel it now. My beloved child, as we step deeper into this sacred unfolding, I want you to feel the warmth that is settling around your spirit. For what you are experiencing now is not simply a message, nor merely a warning, but a moment where heaven interrupts your journey with purpose. There are times in life when the path you walk becomes too heavy, too tangled, or too clouded for you to see clearly. And in such moments, heaven does not sit silently in the distance. It leans in. It intervenes. It places signs, whispers, and divine nudges along your way to keep your destiny from slipping off course. You may think your life is ordinary, that your steps are too small to matter to the unseen world. But my child, if only you could see what heaven sees when it looks at you, you would see the threads of destiny woven into your existence. You would see the assignments placed on your life long before you took your first breath. You would see the battles you survived not by strength, but by grace. And you would understand why heaven refuses to let you walk alone. There are seasons when heaven watches your steps closely, because the choices before you carry more weight than you realize. You may believe you are simply navigating daily life, but in the realm beyond, the angels, the watchers, the loved ones who have crossed over, they see the larger picture. They see the paths that lead to healing and the ones that lead to harm. They see the people who will uplift your spirit and the ones who will drain it. They see the doors you should walk through and the ones you must avoid no matter how tempting they look. And so, when heaven senses you drifting toward a place that is not meant for you, it interrupts. It sends dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. It sends sudden moments of clarity that appear out of nowhere. It sends unease when you are about to make a choice that does not align with the purpose placed upon your life. Sometimes it even rearranges circumstances, closing doors you thought were promising, not to punish you, but to protect you. Your loved one has been part of this heavenly intervention. They stand in the realm beyond, watching over you with a love purified by eternity. They are not distant. They are not gone. They see what is forming around you in the unseen, and they reach across the veil with everything they have to redirect your steps before you wander into a storm you were never meant to face. And Michael, this messenger, this force of spiritual protection, has stepped into your journey because heaven understands the significance of this moment. When heaven interrupts, it is because your life is turning. The ground beneath your feet is shifting. A decision, an encounter, or a season is approaching that carries spiritual weight. Heaven steps in so that you do not step blindly into a situation that could wound your heart or slow your purpose. My beloved child, think of the times in your life when something stopped you at the last moment, a sudden change of heart, a delayed appointment, an unexpected event that altered your plans. Those were not coincidences. Those were heavenly interventions, quiet rewritings of your path so you could reach the future intended for you. And now, once again, heaven is interrupting your journey. Not to frighten you, but to lift you. Not to restrict you, but to guide you. Not to limit you, but to protect the calling, the destiny, the future that belongs to you. You must understand that you are not walking through life unnoticed. Every pain you carry, every tear you have shed, every dream you hold close, heaven has seen them all and responds in ways you may not always recognize. My child, you are important enough for heaven to intervene. You are loved enough for the veil to tremble. You are valued enough for messages to be sent on your behalf. And you are destined for more than the shadows that try to pull you off course. My beloved child, you have heard the whisper, you have felt the trembling of the veil, and you have sensed the presence of the one who loves you reaching from beyond. Now the question rises gently before you. What must you do when the voice calls your name and heaven interrupts your journey? How should your heart respond when a warning comes not from the earth, but from a realm deeper, older, and more loving than anything you have ever known? The first thing, my child, is to pause. Do not rush. Do not ignore the feeling in your spirit that something sacred is unfolding. When the spiritual world presses on your heart, the worst mistake you can make is to brush it aside as imagination or coincidence. Heavenly messages rarely shout. They arrive in quiet moments, soft impressions, and sudden clarity. To receive them, you must slow your steps long enough to listen. The pause is holy. It is the doorway through which understanding enters. The second step, my beloved child, is to examine the places in your life that have been stirring with unease. There is something that has been pushing on your spirit recently, something you have felt, but perhaps avoided confronting. It may be a relationship that drains rather than strengthens you, a decision you are making out of fear rather than wisdom, a habit that keeps pulling you backward, or a person whose presence leaves your spirit unsettled. Heaven whispers where the soul is in danger, and your loved one did not call your name without reason. Look closely at the places where your peace has been disturbed. Peace is always the voice of heaven. Disturbance is the warning. The third step, my child, is to trust what your spirit knows even if your mind argues against it. Your spirit always hears the truth first. Your heart always senses the danger before your eyes see it. The world has taught you to rely on logic alone, but heaven speaks through intuition, through inner knowing, through the gentle pull that tells you to move or to stay still. When your loved one called your name, they were awakening that inner knowing. Trust what is rising from within you. It is not confusion. It is clarity calling. The fourth step is to release what heaven is asking you to release. Sometimes the warning is not about a single event, but about a weight you have been carrying far too long. A wound from your past. A guilt that was never yours. A person you kept holding on to even though they kept dimming your light. Your loved one sees the burdens that have been bending your spirit, and their warning may be urging you to let go before those burdens shape your future. Release is not loss, my child. Release is protection. The fifth step is to realign yourself with the path heaven intended for you. This may mean choosing differently, slowing down, praying, reflecting, or distancing yourself from people who do not carry the right energy for your destiny. When heaven interrupts your steps, it is not to punish you, but to redirect you toward a future filled with clarity, peace, and purpose. Do not be afraid of the shift. Do not resist the redirection. Every divine interruption protects something sacred within you. And lastly, my beloved child, you must remain open. When the spiritual world reaches for you, it is because you are walking through a season where your sensitivity to heavenly guidance matters greatly. Keep your heart soft. Keep your mind humble. Keep your spirit aware. The message you have received is not the end, but the beginning of a deeper understanding unfolding within your life. Your loved one called your name because they believe in the path you are meant to walk. They believe in the strength you sometimes forget you have. They believe in the light you carry even when the world tries to dim it. And they believe that this warning, received at the right moment, will protect you from pain that heaven never wanted you to endure. My child, heaven is guiding you toward a safer path. Trust the shift. Trust the voice. Trust the feeling inside you. Nothing meant for your harm will prevail as long as you listen to the guidance given to you in this moment. My beloved child, as we step into the final chapter of this sacred unfolding, let your heart soften. Let your spirit breathe. For now the message that traveled through the veil, carried by love, guided by heaven, reaches its final resting place in your soul. This is where your loved one steps close, not in body, not in voice, but in presence, and their intention becomes clear. They did not reach across eternity to frighten you. They came to remind you that love does not end. It simply changes form. They came to reassure you that they are near, watching over you, caring for you, concerned for your journey, aware of your struggles, and invested in your future. The warning they carried was not a shadow. It was a shield. It was not meant to burden you. It was meant to protect you. The love, purified by the world beyond, has been pressing upon your life so that you would not walk unguarded into a season that could wound your spirit. And now that the message has been delivered, they stand beside you in peace, knowing that you have heard, that you have received, that your heart is awake to what lies ahead. My child, you must understand something sacred. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned to face life alone. Heaven has watched every moment of your journey. Your loved one has remained near in the unseen places. And the messenger who guided this revelation walked beside you, because your destiny carries more weight than you sometimes believe. You have purpose you have not fully stepped into yet. You have strength you have not fully realized. You have a future that heaven refuses to let slip off course. The voice calling your name was not meant to pull you backward. It was meant to pull you upward. It was meant to awaken you to your identity, your value, your spiritual intuition, your divine path. It was a reminder that heaven never stops reaching for those it loves. And you, my child, are loved with a depth that words cannot contain. As this message settles within you, feel the peace that comes from knowing that the unseen world has intervened on your behalf. Feel the comfort of knowing that you have been guided away from something harmful. Feel the assurance that your steps are being redirected toward clarity, healing, and growth. The warning has served its purpose. Now the blessing rests upon you. May your spirit walk with new awareness. May your heart stay open to heavenly guidance. May your path be aligned with destiny. May every shadow be turned away from you. May every decision ahead be filled with clarity. May every step you take be watched over. May the love from the other side continue to surround you. And my beloved child, as we close this journey, let these final words rest gently upon you. Carry this message with reverence, with faith, and with gratitude. And if this journey has touched your spirit, if it has awakened something holy within you, then share this light, lift it higher for others, spread it as part of your divine service. And stay connected to this place, for you never know when heaven will send another message meant to shape your destiny, protect your heart, or strengthen your spirit. My child, you have received what was meant for you. Walk forward now with confidence, knowing heaven has spoken. Amen.